Hi, this video is going to show you how to solve equations by using the distributive property. Here is our first equation. In order to solve an equation that has parentheses, we first need to use the distributive property in order to eliminate those parentheses. So in this example, first we take 10 times x, which is 10x, and 10 times negative 1, which is minus 10. Now what we need to do is combine all of the terms that have variables. When looking at this equation here, I have to eliminate the 10x from the right-hand side of the equation. So I'm going to take minus 10x and minus 10x. This leaves me with negative 8x equals negative 10. Now my last step, divide by negative 8 and divide by negative 8. So x is equal to 10/8, which is 5/4, which is 1 1/4. You may also write it as a decimal, 1 25/100. I'd like you to pause the video and go ahead and try number 2. It's very similar to number 1. Play the video when you're ready to check your answer. Okay, let's go ahead and check your answer. You first should have used the distributive property to get rid of the parentheses. If you use the distributive property properly, you would get 4x plus 8, and on the left side, 3x. Now taking a look at what terms we have, we're going to eliminate the 4x by using subtraction. This gives us negative 1x equals positive 8. And then we divide by negative 1, so x is equal to negative 8. Nice job. In this next example, you may notice that there are two sets of parentheses. So just like before, we're going to use the distributive property on both sides of the parentheses and then go ahead using what we know about solving equations to get the variable by itself. If you'd like to try it on your own, go ahead and pause the video, try it, and then see how you did. If you're not comfortable yet, let's go ahead and start this together. Use the distributive property on both sides of the equation. So on the left side, when we multiply, we get 5a minus 20. And on the right side, we get 3a plus 4.5. Now what we need to do is we need to take a look at where our terms with our variables are. And one of the hints from one of the previous lessons was that if you pick the smaller of the two, then you won't have to deal with as many negatives. So if I look for the smaller of the two, right here, 3a is smaller than 5a, what I'm going to do is get rid of the 3a. So subtract 3a from both sides. That gives me 2a minus 20 on the left, and then 4.5 on the right. Okay, just a few more steps to go. Here's my term with my variable. I need to get rid of the minus 20, so I'm going to do plus 20. Therefore, 2a is equal to 24.5. Now, a common error right here would be when you're adding 4.5 plus 20. Remember, you have to line up the decimal points, and that's how we get 24.5. Finally, then, the last step is to divide by 2 and divide by 2. So a is equal to 12.25. Okay, here's another type of equation. Go ahead and try it yourself, and then play the video to check your answer. All right, let's try it. First, we're going to use the distributive property to eliminate parentheses. So I get 4w plus 10 equals 38. Here's my term with the variable, so I'm going to eliminate the 10. We're left with 4w equals 28, and then divide by 4. So w equals 7. Okay, here's the last problem in the lesson. The perimeter of a rectangle is 46 inches. Find the dimensions if the length is 5 inches greater than twice the width. Anytime that we're dealing with perimeter and area, it's a good idea to first draw a picture. In this case, we are looking at a rectangle. So let's draw a rectangle. And then what we want to do is we want to label what we know. It says the perimeter is 46 inches. Do you remember the formula for perimeter? Perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. This is going to help us to set up our equation. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what we can label here. It says the length is 5 inches greater than twice the width. Let's think about that one more time. The length is 5 inches greater than twice the width. So what we need to do is, where the length of this rectangle is, we need to write that it is 5 inches greater than twice the width. So the expression for the length is 5 plus 2w. The width, it doesn't give us any information about, so we can just label it w. Now let's go over to our equation and see if we can plug in what we know. We have the perimeter. We do know what the perimeter is. The perimeter is 46. We know that we have to take 2 times the length. The length is 5 plus 2w. And then plus 2 w's. And the width is just w, so we can leave it as a w. Okay, now if we solve this equation, this is going to tell us what the width is. So pause the video here, go ahead and solve for the width. All right, let's see how you did. First, using the distributive property, we're going to go ahead and distribute this 2, and we get 10 plus 4w. Now we need to bring down this plus 2w because we haven't used it yet. And over on the left-hand side, we have a 46. Now, looking at the right-hand side of the equation, I'm noticing that I have a 4w plus 2w. I can combine those and make that 6w. I still have my 46 and then my 10 on the right-hand side. Now, here's my term with the variable, so I'm going to subtract 10. So 36 is equal to 6w, and then divide both sides by 6, so w equals 6. So the width of my rectangle is 6 inches. Now, the only thing I don't know is the length, but I do know that the length is 5 plus 2w. So I already know the width is 6. So if I substitute in 6 for w, I get 5 plus 2 times 6, which is 5 plus 12, which is 17 inches. Nice job.